Stephen, when will these elections be held?
Well, we're yet to hear the precise date. We understand, Nathan, it's going to be within 120 days, but the speculation here is it might be within weeks. Now, what we don't yet know is who the candidates will be, particularly who the candidate on the leftist side of this country's politics, who will replace Evo Morales. But we're expecting announcements on that within the next few days.
And Stephen, Morales was the first indigenous president. What do the indigenous people think there of these latest developments?
Well, the problem really, in fact, it's one of the problems that Evo Morales faced, is that the indigenous community of Bolivia doesn't really speak with one voice. These are many communities. Many of them, in fact, speak different languages. So there has been division about what they make of these events. Some feel that they've been robbed of their president, the first indigenous president this country's ever had. This is a country where 40% of the population does describe itself as indigenous. But there is another part of the indigenous community that felt or feels really let down by Evo Morales, particularly the fact that he repeatedly stood for office. He tried to change the constitution. There was a referendum on whether he could stand for a fourth term. He lost that referendum, and then there was a court case in his favor. Now, some of the indigenous leaders I've been speaking to today say they felt affronted by that because their own culture, they say, is one where leaders should not be in power for a prolonged time. They say within their own communities, they have elections and elect leaders for, say, 1 or 2 years. So there is division there, but I also should say, I think there's a sadness, whatever people think of Evo Morales, that, whether they felt he was taken from them or not, that the sort of sadness that the indigenous people had a voice for a few years while he was president, and they're worried that voice might no longer be heard. But let's see what these elections bring. There may well be an indigenous candidate in those forthcoming elections, so we will be watching that and reporting it for you.
Stephen Gibbs from an increasingly windy La Paz, capital of Bolivia. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.